Your consistent contribution towards your vision in the moment may look like, my goodness, why is she doing all this? I mean, yeah, nothing's happening. She's wasting her time. Why is he doing all of this? Is wasting his time. But in the long run, they're going to pay off, and quite handsomely. So do not despise, number one, the days of small beginnings, and more specifically, do not despise for yourself the power of compounding that your daily contribution are going to bring to the overall wealth you are going to build. So show up every single day and make sure that you are working towards your vision. So as you may be the underdog today, as you may be under, and it looks like the person or the institution or the force or the system over your dreams or over your vision is much more powerful. I mean, you say to yourself that I've not studied anything yet, but I feel like I'm at a disadvantage. So I feel like no matter what I do, it's not going to amount to much. But when you start to understand how compounding works, you're going to say to yourself that yes, every single contribution, however tiny, towards my dream, toward my goal is going to emerge to something over time. It may not look like much right now, but over time it's going to amount to a huge result. So do not despise the days of humble and small beginnings, number one, and do not despise your daily and your small contribution towards this particular vision. When this young boy was actually born, Louis-François Cartier, born to his father Pierre Cartier, who had returned from being in jail, in the British jail after having served for Napoleon between 1812 and 1815. He goes back to France in 1815. He's already 28 years old and he has no money. So he says the only quickest way for me to actually establish myself is to start actually working. So he started working as a metal worker, and that's how working as a metal worker, he falls in love with a local girl by the name of Geraldine. So they start living together and they start a family. And the first son is actually born by the name of Louis-François Cartier. As Louis-François Cartier is born, very quickly, 6 other children or 7 other children come after him. So the father said to himself, yes, I can send my kids, I can send Louis-François to school to learn everything like everybody else. So he's going to do very well. But because we have a family to feed, this young boy must actually get in line. He must help me basically feed this family. So I'm going to send him somewhere. I realized that somewhere there is this thing called les six marchands, meaning the 6 merchants, which were basically an organization that was actually basically putting together under the same umbrella people like merchants, people like entertainers, artists, and together, and they were considered the middle class of Paris. So he said to himself, if my son can go and become part of this les six marchands or the 6 merchant, and just by learning the trade of how to become a jeweler, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is my son eventually is going to have enough experience to go establish himself as a jeweler himself. So he goes and talks to a local guy by the name of, I believe, Bernard Ponson, and Mr. Bernard Ponson says, yes, I have a shop at 31 Rue Monorgueil. That was basically when the shop was established. So every day, this young boy had to walk from where they were all the way to 31 Rue Monorgueil. And he was working there for a measly 2 francs a day. Working up to 15 hours for 2 francs a day. This money was making was not just for himself, but was to bring home and also to attend to the needs of the general family. But every single day he will show up. Every single day he will do something toward his dream. Every single day he shows up. Every single day he does something, and for a measly 2 francs a day, but he was still doing it. Again, compounding effect. So as he's doing that, people are saying, but yes, young man, you are wasting your time, because after all, when Miss decides to retire, what's going to happen? when this gentleman is going to retire, he's going to definitely want to have his son want to take over. So he's not going to want for you to take over. There's no relationship between the two of you. So why would he want to lift everything to you? But the young man was still precise, because his father in the background, Mr. Pierre, was simply saying, yes, keep showing up every single day. Keep showing up, keep showing up. It's about establishing yourself as a trustworthy person within this industry. So he kept showing up. Until one day, in 1847, his boss simply says, it's time for me now to retire. So I'm going to walk away and relocate my business from where it is right now, on 31 Rue Monorgueil, to another different place in Paris. So I'm looking for someone who's willing to buy this business. And the asking price was 20,000 francs. What a huge amount of money for someone who was only making 2 francs a day. So the young man says, no, I think I'm okay. I can manage. I put some money aside as part of my savings. I'm also going to go now to my family to see if I can raise more capital, and which he did. But it was still short, because not only he had to pay 20,000 francs to his former employer, but he had to also consider the 1,500 francs he had to pay for rent for rent on a monthly basis. So it was short. So he goes and negotiates with his former boss, and simply says, yes, I have some money I can give you when it comes to a huge down payment, but I will need also some money as part of my operating expenses. So is it possible for us to make some arrangement so I can actually pay you in installments? The boss says, number one, I appreciate the fact that you've learned something about this business. You worked under me for all these years, and you were putting some money aside, which tells me that you're a visionary. Number 3, I can appreciate the fact that you're willing to actually raise this fund so quickly and bring me the money. So when it comes to installment, yes, we'll go to work something out. It is absolutely possible. And that's how slowly but surely the name went from BP as the initial of the former jeweler to now be called LC for Louis Cartier. And that's how the name, the following year, when they were publishing the name of the registry for the name of all the merchants in Paris, Louis Cartier was now publicly known as now a new jeweler in town within a year. How did this happen? Because of a commitment to showing up every single day. A commitment to do something every single day towards the dream, however small. Show up every single day, consistency, and keep moving, doing something. Do something that can help you move the needle every single day. These two things are going to simply amount to huge returns. It's simply a compounding effect. So it may not look like it right now, but eventually it will pay off. That strategy paid off with Louis Cartier, because in 1847 he was able to sign this deal. In 1848, for the very first time, and not the last time in history, the name Cartier came to mean something. But as I was saying yesterday, it's not about your first name. It's not about your first name. So your first name is fantastic, but it's not about your first name. It's about the family name that you're trying to establish. Because over time, the Louis Cartier came to be changed to Cartier, and I will know today as Cartier. And many other brands right now have been going through what they call rebranding process. For example, in France, we have people like Pierre Cardin, that has been changed to Cardin only. Yves Saint Laurent, which has been changed now to Saint Laurent only. Why? Because they are coming to understand that when it comes to a legacy, it's not so much about your legacy, your particular first name, but it's about the last name that you're trying to establish. So as far as you are concerned, now you understand it's about your family name. It's about the legacy that you're trying to establish for your family. The key thing to do is now to think strategically and to say to yourself, it may look like a small contribution, but I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to commit to doing it every single day. Show up every single day and do something every single day that can help you move the needle in the right direction, and make sure that your war chest is basically building up, because when the right opportunity is going to manifest itself, my friend, you gotta be ready to make a move.